Recording. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Kenneth. Now, for a long time, people have asked me, they said, Kenneth, man, you always wear these fragrances and you're always smelling good. When are you ever going to do a review of fragrances? When are you ever going to make fragrance review videos? Well, guess what? That day is today. And welcome to the very first episode of Mr. Smellgood 803 Fragrance Reviews. Once again, I'm your boy Kenneth. And if you want to find out different things about the fragrance community, different fragrances to wear, whether we're talking about colognes, perfumes, we even talk about things like, keeping the beard, and keeping the beard game tight with certain beard oils, just anything fragrance related. That's why I'm here today. All right. So check it out. I've done a lot of collecting in my lifetime. Okay. And I've come to find out that some of the best fragrances that you ever can find aren't always the things that are just right there at Sephora or Macy's. Sometimes you got to kind of go off of the beaten trail in order to find wonderful fragrances. And when you've been doing this as much as I have, trust me, I have found some very, very unique fragrances from places that you just really wouldn't think of. Okay. And one of the houses and one of the designers that I'm actually going to be reviewing today is from a company called Rihanah. Okay. Now, make sure you heard me right. Rihanah, not Rihanna. Okay. So not under nobody's umbrella. Okay. We're talking about Rihanah. Okay. Now, this company is actually out of Dubai and from the Middle East. And if anyone really knows anything about Middle Eastern fragrances, I'm going to just be honest with you. They can be kind of challenging. Middle Eastern fragrances aren't always the easiest thing to wear. One of the reasons why is that Middle Eastern fragrances tend to be very strong. They usually focus around the note of oud. And oud can be a very, very powerful fragrance note depending on how it's blended. Okay, so a lot of people, kind of stay away from Middle Eastern fragrances because they can just be so loud. But this company, Rihanna, has done some great things with some of their fragrances. And I just wanted to kind of do a quick review of 3 of the fragrances that I currently have in my collection from the house Rihanna. Okay. Now, the first fragrance is, I actually was able to smell this in a fragrance shop near where I live. And I smelled it and I was just automatically in love with it. The presentation is absolutely gorgeous. And for the price point, man, because y'all know your boy, man, I try to get it for the low. All right. And I'm going to try to help you guys get it for the low too. Okay. All right. And we're going to come back to the price point a little later. Okay. But first, let's just talk about the fragrance itself. Okay. This fragrance is called Saba Waoud from the house of Rihanna. Okay. Now, I know y'all looking like, Ken, why did you put your beads on the fragrance? I didn't do this. Okay. And y'all know I love my beard game and my beads. But these prayer beads actually come with the fragrance. Okay. So when I'm talking about just the presentation is beautiful, good quality craftsmanship, this is what I'm talking about. They didn't really spare any expense with just even how this particular product is made. And when you talk about the box, even, look at the box, man. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. Now, let's talk about the fragrance itself. Like I said, it's a Middle Eastern company. You don't find a lot of information about this company online. So it's not very easy to be able to look up the fragrance itself and get a breakdown of the different ingredients or fragrance notes that are in this particular fragrance. Now, just from my nose, there are certain things that I can pick up on. Of course, oud. It's in the name of the actual fragrance. Okay? So you definitely have oud, but this is not one of those heavy, just smell like underarm ouds. Okay? This doesn't smell like, tree bark or something like that. Okay? This is very, very appealing, but it's very powerful. You don't need a lot of sprays for this particular fragrance. As a matter of fact, I really only recommend maybe about two fragrances, two sprays, one on each side of your neck, and maybe one on your chest on your clothing. That's going to be enough to last you, I promise you, at least 12 hours. On skin, I've had this fragrance last 24 hours on skin. Okay. Um, I pick up a lot of saffron, a lot of oud into this fragrance. Once again, it's very hard to give you a complete breakdown of all the fragrance notes because there's none listed. You just kind of have to trust your nose. Okay. But like I said, once again, it's very, very, very strong, but it's very, very good quality. So this is Sabawa Oud. Okay. Now, the next fragrance that I have from the house of Rihanah, this is another oud fragrance. Okay. Now, this one is called Musky Oud. Okay. Musky Oud. And I know I can't really give you a good visual of it, but once again, a beautiful presentation. The box itself, once again, they really did a great job. Good quality looking fragrance, good quality boxes and presentation. Now, this fragrance is very similar to the Sabawa Oud in that you do have the oud heaviness of this fragrance. But I will say that one of the biggest difference between Sabawa Oud and Musk Oud is there is the slight musk that's included in this fragrance. And there's also hints of rose in this. For a lot of people who, when you start dealing with Middle Eastern fragrances, we call it the holy trinity of fragrance notes when it comes to Middle Eastern fragrances. That's oud, saffron, and rose. And you definitely have a very big floral blast of rose in this, which makes this a much more softer version to me of Sabawa Oud. They share a lot of similarities, but there is enough difference between this fragrance and Sabawa Oud to actually have this fragrance as well, and it's not a redundant, pickup. Man, beautiful spray, man. The atomizers on this, they just have really good quality. And like I said, this is much more floral. I would say this is going to be more unisex than Sabawa Oud, even though you do have a lot of still masculine, traditionally masculine type notes into this fragrance. But still great quality, not too heavy. This one doesn't last as long as Sabawa Oud, but it still projects amazingly. Sabawa Oud and Musk Oud, these will project at least 2 feet from you. They will be very heavy with the projection within the first, 2-3 hours of having the fragrance on. Now, after about 3 hours or so, Sabawa Oud and Musk Oud start sitting more closer to the skin, so it's not going to be as loud. So after about 3 or 4 hours, you're going to have to, have somebody, come on, get a little closer, get a little closer. Smell me, smell me. Yeah, yeah. You're going to have that effect on it, okay? So these are, I would definitely say, more for cooler months. I think with Musk Oud, you can actually kind of get away with this in the springtime too. Like I said, you just got to be very careful on the trigger, not to overspray yourself, because the worst thing that you can do with a powerful fragrance is spray too much, because you will choke everyone out in the room. Okay? So that's Musk Oud. And the last fragrance that I have from the house of Rihanah is actually what has become probably my favorite fragrance so far from what I've smelled from this house. And believe it or not, this is not really a oud smelling fragrance. So, and I think this is what surprised me the most about this fragrance, was that it's a Middle Eastern fragrance that doesn't really feature oud. So this one is called Basat Al Ray. Basat Al Ray. Excuse me. Once again, wonderful presentation. Very quality glass. Very quality bottle. The fragrance itself, I mean, just the, man, I'm telling you, when you smell this fragrance, the biggest thing that you're going to notice is that this is much more fresh. And what I mean by that, you still smell some florals in here. I'm picking up notes of lavender, maybe even some citrus, maybe bergamot, lemon. but this is a much more fresher interpretation of a Middle Eastern fragrance. And with saying that, this is the type of fragrance that you could actually probably get away with year round. This is not going to keep you in the corner of just saying, "Hey, I can only wear this fragrance in the winter or in the fall." I think you can get away with this one year round, and this is unisex. And I'm really, really interested to see and actually smell this on a woman's skin, because sometimes your body chemistry, men and women, we tend to our body chemistry can change the profile of a fragrance. So I'm really interested to know if any women may pick this up, and if you do, let me know what it smells like, or what you're picking up on your skin. But I definitely would love to smell this on a woman's skin to just see how their body chemistry may change the profile of this fragrance. And once again, the presentation for Passat Aure, man, it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So these are my three fragrances that I currently have from the fragrance house of Rihanah. Like I said, once again, a Middle Eastern fragrance company, doing some amazing things. There are quite a few other ones that they have now. Like I said, they're kind of hard to find. You just got to know where to look. I will definitely make sure that I have links for you from where I actually picked up these particular fragrances. The price point, that's the biggest beauty of these fragrances, because if you go to a fragrance shop and you find these fragrances, you're going to probably pay anywhere between $75 to $80 full retail for these fragrances. But there are going to be websites that I know of and that I can give you links to, that you can actually purchase these fragrances for no more than $34. Okay, and I'm talking about from the price range of about $27 to about $33, $34. Okay, and who doesn't like to keep a little extra money in a pocket? Okay, and if you're ordering from the different websites I'm ordering from, a lot of times the money that you're saving, instead of paying the full retail price, you can actually pay for expedited shipping instead, and you can get your fragrances faster. I know I do. Okay, but look, man, this is my first episode of, once again, of coming here to Mr. Smellgood 803. It's your boy Kenneth. Man, I'm enjoying this fragrance journey, and I want you guys to enjoy it too. You don't have to spend a lot of money to smell great. Okay, that's something that we're going to definitely be talking about here on this fragrance review channel. So, man, until the next review, peace.